Can you help me separate some of the mythology from the reality of what it was like for you growing up as a child with your dad?
It's really the diet that was blown out of proportion. Most definitely tried a Big Mac. Marv was obsessive. He was definitely obsessive about training, and that's all he, ate, drank, and slept. I got to play at the highest level, and so it exceeded all my expectations. It didn't feel like it was a crime. I didn't realize that I had a gene that tells me that there's a good chance that I might have this thing called addiction.
My guest today set national high school passing records as a prep phenom in Southern California before going on to lead the USC Trojans to a Rose Bowl victory. As a freshman, he was later drafted in the first round and played in the NFL for the Los Angeles Raiders. His new book is called Marinovich, Outside the Lines in Football, Art, and Addiction. It's my pleasure to welcome to the program Todd Marinovich. Todd, how are you?
Good. Thanks for having me.
Well, it's a pleasure. As I was saying to you right before we went on the air, you've got the geographic advantage on me. I'm coming from January, Chicago, and there you are. I wish that I was hanging with you there in Hawaii, I believe I am told. Yeah.
Yes.
Also, aloha from Hawaii.
Aloha.
Today. The version of Marv Marinovich that we hear, right, the shorthand version is he was this obsessed guy. He basically treated his kid as a guinea pig for his theories about how to, have optimal performance and whatever. Tell me what the media got wrong, what's bull, what still circulates that's misinformation. Set the record straight for us.
Well, it was really the diet that was blown out of proportion because I had, most definitely tried a Big Mac. It wasn't like I've never had one. I just wasn't a big fan of McDonald's. And, Marv was obsessive. He was definitely obsessive about training, and that's all he, ate, drank, and slept was training. I didn't feel like a test tube, baby growing up. I felt like it was normal because that's all I knew. And I played all sports. It wasn't like he had a dream that I would be an NFL quarterback. It was just be as healthy and as athletic as I could, and did a lot of training with him. He was more like a coach than a dad. And that's, he did the best he could, but that's what he knew. He knew how to train people. So I feel fortunate.
So, from an outsider's point of view, people could have looked at you, the Todd Marinovich, again, the phenomenal high school quarterback who everybody's recruiting and USC's lucky enough to get. You go and your first team, all Pac-10, and win the Rose Bowl as a freshman, just as the story arc was supposed to continue. And as you look back on your career and you look back on your orientation towards football, as a kid in high school, as that kid who made the decision to go to USC and stay in Southern California, where were you at mentally at that point? Were you enjoying football? Was everything going as you wanted it to go? And what were the pressures like on you of being such a national story as a teenager?
I didn't feel a ton of pressure. It was a landmark for me because it was the first time I enjoyed school. I wasn't a big fan, to be honest, of school growing up. I couldn't wait, until I graduated high school. But when I joined the art department at USC, it was something that I really loved. I loved going to class then. So that was new to me, and it was really my first orientation with fine art. So I really enjoyed it.
So immediate success. And let's get some pictures up of your art because I want to get into it. I know it's been a huge component of your life here. And there you can see Walter Payton in one piece, Bowie, In another, there's one of yourself playing against UCLA. I mean, great stuff. Obviously, you're a hell of a talented guy. And your story extends so far beyond football. You know, the thing that you're most known for oftentimes in life is not necessarily the thing that is the core of who you are as a person. And I feel like in many ways, you fall into that category of someone who, you know, people don't understand the depth and the layers. What did people not understand then about Todd Marinovich the person? And even now, all of these years later, what do you think people don't understand about who you are as a man?
Well, one thing, like to set the record straight, I have a deep passion and love for the game of football. There's just no way I could have spent as much time as I did preparing to play, off season and training growing up with my dad if I didn't love the game. There's just no way. And what an experience it was. And I look at it, when I look at, my football career, it's a really short portion of my life. I enjoyed the hell out of it. For the most part, when going through it, and met some amazing people I got to play with, and I got to play at the highest level. And so it exceeded all my expectations of being an athlete, getting to play at the highest level with the best guys in the world and hold my own. And so that was an experience nobody can take away.
The struggles that you've had through the years with addiction and everything that goes with that, many people who are watching this can relate, or have family members or friends who can relate. As you look back at it and you look at things now from the perspective of where you are in your life, where do you feel that things begin to turn in an unhealthy direction for you, that started to take your life in a direction that was, not the place that you would have preferred to have gone?
It's hard to say. I was out there practicing not safe anything. I wasn't. It was really to experience as much as I can, and threw all caution to the wind. Now that I'm older, I'm looking back on it. I was extremely young, and I don't know how young guys do it today, coming into the league, or in college. It's just a different environment than when I played, and like anything, everything's changing. But I sure do, through all the changes and all the time that has passed, I truly love the game of football.
Is being in a situation where so much is expected of you at such a young age? It's like, look, I relate to what you said. I hated high school, man. I went on to be a college professor for over 20 years somehow. And that's an unlikely story, dude, because I hated high school with a passion. I hated high school. I didn't even start to college for about 6 years after high school, because I just didn't want to sit in a classroom listening to anybody ever again, if I could help it. So I relate to that. So you're a normal kid, but on the other hand, you're anything but a normal kid, because, as I said, you're the best quarterback in the country coming out of high school, and immediate success at USC. And on down the line. How do you balance all the problems that any 17, 18, 19, 20-year-old is going to have, adjusting and growing and trying to figure out who they are and all that shit that we all deal with? How do you do that under the microscope that you were living under? Did you feel a need, do you think, with the drugs? Was it? I assumed that to some degree it was a coping mechanism.
Right. How did I do it? Well, I didn't do it well. Yeah, it you know, at the time it feels innocent, because my peers are right there with me, and you know, exploring new mental states and experiences. So it didn't feel like it was a crime. Um, I didn't realize that I had a gene that tells me that there's a good chance that I might have this thing called addiction. Um, and if you do, then it's like playing Russian roulette. I got in too deep so fast where then I just couldn't put the brakes on it. And anybody suffering from addiction knows that it's a terrible thing to all of you screaming you don't want to do something and you do it anyway. It's crazy. So man, I've learned a lot in my short time on the planet, and I feel like I continue to be teachable and to learn. By all means, I don't have anything figured out.
I don't think any of us do. If somebody tells you they do, they're full of shit. I think probably 99% of the time. I'm still,
Right.
I look at how little I know now, and I look back and I just wonder how I got through the day when I was 20 years old, because, I barely know my head from my ass at 54. So Todd, what made you feel like now was the time to tell your story? Because, for someone who has been you have been talked about a lot. You know how they say if somebody's talking about you, your ears are burning? I mean, your ears have been burning your whole life. And probably the ratio of inaccurate stuff being said about you to accurate stuff has been worse with you probably even than it is with the average celebrity.
Right.
I can't imagine how many things you've read and heard on television and so forth where you think to yourself, yeah, that's a nice take, but like you have no idea what you're talking about. How frustrating is it? And did you feel sort of a need to put it out there in your words and let people know what the real story is at this time?
Yeah, well, I stopped listening and watching stuff and reading stuff a long time ago. It's just not something that's healthy mentally for me. So it was just timing, really. There was no really thought or planning behind it. It was just running into a teammate at a Raider reunion a couple summers ago, and he had just finished one writing it with his wife, Lizzie, and I trusted Steve with my life. He was an offensive lineman, and so he posed the question, why don't you write a book? And I was like, why don't I? Let's do it.
And you've certainly done that. There it is again, the book, Outside the Lines in Football, Art, and Addiction. I want to talk to you about the art, and I want to talk to you about just living day to day, trying to live your best life and reach your potential. And, as we all are, as I'm trying to do, trying to become more fully developed as a person and be the best version of myself. Before I get into the art, I want to say I was struck. My producer, Tim, sent me over a little clip that was a promo clip on YouTube for your book. And there was a song on there, and it said music by Todd.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to tell you, dude, like all kidding aside and whatever, I was I wanted to hear it again. I wanted to hear the whole song. So my first question to you is is your music available anywhere online where people can listen to it? Because I heard 30 seconds of that and I was like, hey, wait a minute, let's just set aside the fact that I'm interviewing Marinovich today. I just want to hear that song. So tell me a little bit about music and where I can hear that song, would you?
It's thank you. I appreciate that. It's been it's really been something I've turned to throughout times of grief, really a way to pour out emotion into, and it's really writing. I'm not a guitarist or a guitar player. I just play, I'm two-chord Todd. I play enough so I can write lyrics. That's what I really love to do, and it's another medium for me. I mean, I love to paint and sculpt. However, there's something truly magical about playing the acoustic guitar for me. The vibration of it, I feel a sense of ease and comfort comes over me when I play it.
Yeah, let's give it a little listen.
There's nothing out
there.
Go
ahead. Okay, now. Hey, listen, I'll give you my address if you want to send me a cassette tape, I'll listen to it. But Tim's got a little snippet of this. Let's play a little bit of the sound here so people can hear Todd Marinovich, the musical artist.
Sitting out in the rain, it falls. Hitting the street, I smell it all. Reminding me of pretty places that I've been before. They're all gone. I'm going.
Dude, I'm telling you right now, I'm sold. I want to inject that song into myself. I mean, that's a good freaking song, dude. So I actually searched for it. I went into my Spotify and I searched Todd Marinovich because I thought, maybe he's got an EP or something, and I'll see what's out there. And I found 2 songs called Todd Marinovich. Are you aware that there are 2 songs out there where they put your name in the title? Do you know this? There is a song called Todd Marinovich. I didn't have time to listen, but I'm going to when this is over. I just found them like about an hour ago. One of them it's called Todd Marinovich by Stack It Up J. And then there's another one called Todd Marinovich by Black Panther Hotline. So I have no idea what they say, but yeah, you might want to look into it.
That's kind of cool.
You got a couple of songs out there by other people. So yeah, not a lot of people can say that. Let's talk about the art. Just a little bit more in terms of what it does for you. Like, what does art do for you? You're obviously a very creative person. I'd like to think that I'm a creative person because I'm on Twitter, X now, every day trying to entertain people, trying to come up with tweets that'll get a laugh, that have something of value to them. And that creative process has been a huge part of my life now for over 10 years. Obviously, in much the same way, you are deriving something from the art. What do you get from it, and what does it do for you in terms of helping you stay in a steady place in doing the right things with your addiction?
The list is, a mile long on what art does for me. It's really, it puts me in a place of time is non-existent, and that's special when you can find anything in life where time just disappears. It's beautiful. It takes me to another place where it shuts. For the most part, it'll shut down this thing that's sitting on my shoulders that just is relentless, just all the time, interjecting, talking to me, telling me, and with art and music and all I do creatively, that's my respite. That's where I can gain some, like I said, a sense of ease and comfort, without a doubt, and that's priceless, truly. And if I wasn't getting paid to create, I need to create no matter if I'm getting paid or not. That's not even an issue. It's just something that me as a being I need to do is create. It doesn't matter how I do it or what I use. It's just being creative.
Yeah, that outlet. Being in a flow state. I actually really relate to what you're saying about present time, but being in that flow state, and I get it. I have things in my life that kind of put me there, and that is, man, it helps a lot with the stresses of life, being able to do that. As a, quote unquote prodigy, as the son of an athlete, second generation athlete, when you look at something like LeBron James and Bronny James, or you look at Deion Sanders and Shedeur Sanders, do you ever feel any kind of a kinship of sorts with like the younger guys who are in that situation where their dad is a prominent part of their athletic picture?
Sure. Yeah, 100%. And I'm, empathetic toward any father-son relationship because it just ain't easy. We love our fathers to death, but a lot of us can't even have a relationship with them. And so I know it's difficult. So I'm not here to judge at all in any respect. It's to be empathetic because it's just not easy.
And in this era, have you ever considered what it would have been like coming along in this era where it's everything's social media, everybody's got a camera, you look at somebody the wrong way and it's national news. It seems like the pressure has only intensified, since the days when you were coming up.
Yeah, it would have been, I probably wouldn't have lasted 2 weeks. From 2 years to 2 weeks, it would have been that drastic. I think there was just, it's a different time.
Now, the compensation for that is you would have made a lot of money in college.
Yeah, early
as well. Yeah. What do you think of the NIL Wild West era we're in, where everybody's basically on a 1-year deal, and you got guys going to, we had one guy that we talked about on the program a week or two ago. He's going on to his 7th school. What do you make of this crazy new world that we're in with college athletics?
There's just nothing good about the changing of schools like that. When I was having my trouble at USC and then decided to leave early as a sophomore, there was no thought of going to another school. I couldn't even conceive putting on another uniform. It's like what courses through my veins. I'm a Trojan, and I wouldn't. It's not even in my realm of thinking. And in today's world, like you said, it's just part of the deal, and it's just something is lost there. It's got to be. And that's what I truly love about college football. There's a different feel to it than the NFL, but it's all changing,
Yeah, I mean, for so many years, it seemed static. And then when the door opened to change, man, the pendulum just swung all the way in the other direction. And it's like, give these kids some rights. And then it's just like, holy kid, maybe we need to tone the rights down.
Right.
So maybe not so many rights.
Because I agree. I was like, what we were getting to go to school there it was hard to get by. And I felt like we should be compensated a little bit for this, but not to the extreme that's going on, that it wasn't, you nailed it. It's just, it swung big.
All right, Todd, as we come down to the stretch here, I want to flash the book back up on the screen again so everybody can know where to find it. And could you just kind of tell people, if you want to just let people know just sort of I think you've covered it very nicely, but what's sort of your quick 30-second read on what people can expect if they pick up a copy of Marinovich?
Well, if you don't know the story, it's not going to be something you expect, I guess. A lot of my life has been about athletics. And so that's a big portion of it. And then also my upbringing and my bout with addiction, which is a daily deal. And it's about relationships, and that's truly what life is about. It's about my relationships, and I'm grateful to have the ones that I do.
Well, Todd, you're certainly an outstanding quarterback. You're an outstanding artist. Just looking at the art, immediately. And Two Chord Todd has at least one really good song. I'm just telling you, if you ever want to send me an MP3 to Chicago, I'm not going to turn it. I'm not going to turn it down. I'll put it that way. Listen, Todd, wish you the best. Glad to see you doing well and in a good place in your life, and continued good things going forward.
Thank you. Thanks, Ricky, for having me. Had fun.
Interesting stuff talking to Todd Marinovich today, and let me now bring in the international streaming star joining me, as always, from Nashville, Tennessee. He is Ronnie T-Shirts. Ronnie, I really enjoyed that conversation. Todd's a fascinating guy. His story is in many ways familiar. I'm sure there's a lot of people who have battled addiction, and in many ways his story is like everyone else's. But in a lot of other ways, it's not, because of the circumstances of his athletic career and so on and so forth. What stuck out for you from the interview with Todd Marinovich today?
I mean, the first thing that stuck out to me is I think you guys are best friends. Like, he just, but by the end of that interview, I was like expecting you guys to be like exchange numbers and be like, you know what, we need to hang out. Like,
we might hang at some point.
I mean, he definitely
I used to play a little harmonica.
He seems like your kind of person. Like, he actually really does seem like your kind of person. Yeah, man, I guess I knew that he had the addiction issues, and he didn't get, crazy into it on the interview, but I guess I didn't really remember it that much. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's just like anything. It's like, I like seeing when somebody goes through trials and tribulations in life and they come out on the other end and they're happy. Cause really that's all we're looking for in life, is we just want to be happy. Right. And it seems like he's at peace and he's happy and
Ron, sometimes going through difficult things builds a wiser person. Not that you
and
want to go through the
appreciation for
difficult
simple
thing,
things.
but
Yeah.
exactly. Perspective.
Yeah.
And he seems like a guy who has perspective. And I was saying to Tim when we were talking, before the show, that, I think he's a deep guy. I think he's a guy who's self-aware and, working on trying to live his best life. And, I related to that as somebody who's, trying to do the same thing in my own lane. So yeah, it was good stuff, Ronnie. And it's always good stuff when you visit PrizePicks. My friends, this episode today is brought to you by PrizePicks, America's #1 fantasy sports app. And look, what's better than being right? I like to be right. Fortunately for me, I'm right most of the fucking time, except for when I'm not. And I got to tell you, the only thing better than being right is getting paid when you're right. And PrizePicks marries your love and passion for sports and your knowledge for sports with the opportunity to turn it into cold hard cash. And I'm going to make it very easy for you today, because if you use my code Ricky, that is RICKY, and play a $5 lineup at PrizePicks. So all you got to do, download it, use my code Ricky when you sign up, put in one $5 lineup, you're going to get $50 in free lineups. Simple as that. Use code Ricky, play a $5 lineup, and you'll get $50 in free lineups with which to build your bankroll. And I have done it to pretty decent effect this season. I don't want to brag, but I'm going to brag a little bit. Let's look at the standings here among the Outkick family of whose picks are generating the most revenue. And there I sit in the silver medal position currently, breathing hot air on the back of Dan Dockich's neck. Ronnie, is what you see right there. Look at me. I am well within striking distance of getting to #1 in this hierarchy. It's like Gucci Mane once said, I'm a financial advisor, I'll make you wiser. And that's what I'm attempting to do. You should listen to my picks. If you have been listening to my picks, some of you out there might be up over $600 right now, and I've got some more picks for you So maybe you can catch up. Maybe you haven't taken advantage of my wisdom just yet. Here's an opportunity for you to do that. This is my lineup. Saturday action, pro football this weekend. The playoffs are upon us. And here's what I've got. First of all, I'm going with my guy. Caleb Williams against Green Bay at home, playoff game, biggest rival. Of course he's going to throw at least one touchdown pass. Are you kidding me? And he's going to go over 208.5 yards as well. Book it on both of those things. And then just to wind it up and just put a bow on my nice little lineup here, Puka Nacua is going to catch at least 6 passes against the Carolina Panthers. So there you go. Andrea True connection day for me. More. How do you like me? Right there. All right? Don't miss out. Take that $50 free. Put some of it towards those picks, and you'll start that bankroll growing very rapidly at Prize Picks, where it's good to be right. And Prize Picks has handled the rightness on today's program, Ronnie, but I've got some wrongness right now that the athletic department, and in fact, I'm sure the entire administration of Washington is going to call wrong on the quarterback, Damon Williams, who it's crazy, Ron. I'm telling you, every story about the transfer portal and money in college sports, the next story's crazier than the previous story. Damon Williams gets $4 million from Washington and then turns around almost immediately and says he wants to get in the transfer portal. And Washington said, "Not so fast, son. You hold it right fucking there. Your deal with us does not allow you to do that." Take a look at it. There's a provision, reportedly, in the agreement signed between Williams and Washington that prohibits him from entering the transfer portal. Literally, what was it, days later, he turns around and wants to go into the portal, and the school says, as my daughter Bailey said one time when she was in a gymnastics class when she was 3 years old, and they asked her to do a flip that she wasn't comfortable with, she looked at the instructor and she said, "I think I refuse." Washington says, "I think I refuse to put you into the transfer portal." And by God, I'm all with them. And in fact, the kid has lost his agent over this. His agent has now broken ranks with him, citing a philosophical disagreement. I'm not a lawyer, but my assumption is that philosophical disagreement is his agent believes that contracts should be honored, and Damon isn't so sure about that. Ron, what do you make of this clusterfuck? Is this going to be like the test case that maybe finally starts to put the brakes on just the downhill roll of madness that we're on with everybody in and out of the transfer portal on seemingly an hourly basis? What's going on here, Ronnie?
Man, we talked about this in a previous show, and I really dislike what's going on in college athletics right now. Fortunately for college athletics, they got me. Like, I'm too old. It's too important to me. I've been loving it for too long. Like, I'm still gonna whatever our Ohio State's first game is.
It's like a fucking country song now.
Yeah,
Ron.
like whatever Ohio
I've been loving you too long.
Yeah, whatever
football.
Ohio State's first game is next year. It doesn't matter who's playing, Ricky. I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna watch it, and I'm gonna be nervous and anxious, and I'm gonna be into it. But there's a group of people that that they don't have like they have me. And they're going to lose them because this is ridiculous. Like, it's absolutely ridiculous. And you and I talked about this, I don't know, a year and a half ago. Like, they have to have some guardrails up. Like, this is not sustainable to do.
Bro,
you can't do any business this way.
Think about all the years where athletes were getting nothing, and we were told that, well, you know how much a college education is worth at a good school, and blah, 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 while coaches are making, 7 and 8 figure deals and whatever, and you've got these kids getting nothing. Could this have been prevented if they hadn't been so fucking greedy? Like, if this was like 10, 15, 20 years ago, if they had just carved out something for the athletes that was just somewhat reasonable, it probably would have been decently well received. I mean, what do you make of the fact that we've just gone all the way around the bend to the athletes getting completely screwed to a situation now where we don't have, it's like the fucking Autobahn. Just gun the car to 210 miles an hour and hope for the best. We don't have any fucking sheriff in this town anymore.
I don't necessarily agree with you that had they, done something different, what did you say, 12 or 15 years ago? I think people would just exploit whatever they can exploit. The fact that they went into this with no rules or regulations or stipulations or default to this if this happens. Like, think about any other aspect of life that involves, I guess, not necessarily business, but being a part of something. There are rules and there are ways that you do things. Like, you just can't all of a sudden go to just call up Fox and go, hey, you know what? I'm not doing this anymore. I'm going over here. Dude, you have a contract. Doesn't matter what you think or what you want or what somebody else offers you. Somebody could offer you $100 million to start to do something on their platform, and you can't. You've got a contract, Ricky. Like, you just don't get to do what...
If somebody offered me that, I'd put my arm around Gary Schreier's shoulder and I'd say, Gary. But
you know what I'm saying.
I got offered $100 million by somebody who's apparently completely oblivious to reality.
Yeah, but you know what I'm saying.
Gary, how much of a cut do you want? Gary and I could work something out. But yeah, dude, I mean, there have to be some rules. I mean, you can't have guys who are going to their 7th institution. This is not healthy. This is not what college is supposed to be.
No.
This is not benefiting people. There are people walking around who are Ohio State Buckeyes, and this is true for every other program in the country as well, pretty much. But there are guys walking around who are Ohio State Buckeyes who couldn't tell you 3 things about Columbus, Ohio, probably.
Mm-mm.
And I think that's a problem. People who have no roots in the community, people who barely even have any affectionate memories of their time there that weren't related to being a football player.
They're probably not going to class. Actually, I was talking to Tyler this morning.
Why should they?
Yeah, I was talking to Tyler
farce
about this morning, and we were kind of discussing, like, okay, these guys are they're moving around, moving here, moving there. She's like, what about the education part of it? Like, what about just credits transferring from one school to another? And it's like, Tyler, they don't go to class anymore. They don't care. It doesn't matter. Like, when's the last time you heard about somebody being academically ineligible? It doesn't happen anymore. Like,
and listen, Ron, I taught college for 21 years. I've got a couple of college degrees. It served me well. If you are making enough money playing football or basketball or what the fuck ever at the college level, people go to college to set themselves up with security and something in life. If you're getting that without going to class, and as Wooderson said in Dazed and Confused, listening to, somebody who don't know what the hell they're talking about anyway, I wouldn't fucking go to class either. Who cares about having a bachelor's degree if you've got 7 figures in the bank? Who gives a flying fuck? Most bachelor's degrees aren't worth the paper that they're printed on anyway.
Right.
So who cares? It's a joke.
And so what we have now is it's professional, but it's not even professional because you can't pull this shit off in professional sports. Like you just don't get to do what you want. You sign a contract and then
it's better than the NFL. It's better than the NFL. Who was the guy that we were looking at it the other day? He's going to get paid more money for 1 year of playing quarterback in college than Shedeur Sanders' entire
Sorsby,
multi-year
the
rookie
kid from
contract.
Cincinnati.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, to be fair,
people are taking a pay cut to go to the the fucking NFL. Dude.
Sanders took a pay cut to go to the NFL because he was making about that.
Absolutely,
much too.
He did.
Yeah.
And he won't be the only one.
No,
I
just
some of these guys are going to make so much money that they're going to be set for life financially. They're not even going to need the NFL. If they're a borderline type guy who might have been somebody who could carve out a career as a backup quarterback for a while in the league, they're going to make more money in college than they could have made in the NFL being a backup quarterback for 5 seasons. It's just, I don't know. It's crazy, Ron, is what it is. Speaking of crazy, some people might say that Jerry Jones said one of the crazier things that we've heard this NFL season. Jerry, well, rather than me explaining it to you, let's just go to the horse's mouth and listen to the man himself. Here's Jerry Jones on his goals and ambitions.
Do it. My goal in life is to retire as the owner that won the most Super Bowls. That's my goal. To be retired in the NFL as the owner that won the most Super Bowls. We've got 3. How many more do I have to go as a single owner? Bob's got how many? 6? So I've got
work to do.
Got work to do. I got work to do, but at least I'm up to the second rung in the ladder. But my goal is to have retired and won the most Super Bowl as an owner.
Jerry, I'll follow up on
Do it.
He's got work to do. He's 83. You know what a good 4-year plan for Jerry Jones is, Ron? Don't die. Like when you're 83, the only plan that you should have that will require 4 good years of anything is 4 years of staying on this side of the ground. But hey, look, listen, in Jerry Jones's defense, and this is not a very enthusiastic defense, Ron, he's 83. Figure, he seems pretty spry. Let's say that Jerry is just genetically blessed and he's got 10 more years of being at himself, for whatever that's worth, where he can kind of continue to do what he's done. That's a little generous. 93 is pretty fucking old. 83 is already pretty fucking old to be the general manager of anything. You can't be the general manager of a, fucking Dunkin' Donuts if you're 83 years old. But nonetheless, Jerry's got the gig. He needs 4 more Super Bowls. He hasn't been to an NFC championship game in 30 years. It got me thinking about the math a little bit. And so I tweeted at Super 70 Sports about this. If Jerry's goal is to retire with at least 7 Super Bowl wins and top Bob Kraft, and look, let's be honest, Bob Kraft might win number 7 this year. It's not out of the question the way that Mike Vrabel has the New England Patriots looking this season. But look, either way, motherfucker better be a vampire. Because there's not enough time on the clock, Jerry. You got to dream big. There's nothing wrong with that. Look, he's got to have something to pursue. He's like anybody else. He's on a quest. But I think we've entered the Don Quixote zone here with this one. A great goal for Jerry Jones would be to win 1 more Super Bowl in his lifetime. I'm not sure how fucking realistic that one is, but that's a good goal. But God bless him.
it's not all sunshine and glory holes when you're trying to pursue 7 Lombardi trophies, and you're pretty sure that you don't actually know how to get any without the involvement of Jimmy Johnson, Dallas Cowboys organization.
Good luck, Jerry. I'll give Jerry a better chance of winning 4 more Super Bowls than I will give this woman that we're about to look at, Ron, Hajar Abdelkader. I'm sure I pronounced that wrong, but whatever. She's not a real tennis player, so I don't guess it matters. It didn't stop her from being allowed to participate as a wild card in an official ITF event in Nairobi, Kenya. And here she is attempting to serve, Ron. This is a real women's professional tour tennis event.
Ricky, do you know who that is? That's Ray Gun.
Wow, I didn't expect to get a Ray Gun reference today. She
Gun.
won 3 points. She won 3 points in the match, and she had somewhere around 20 double faults. It's being reported. I mean, like, I play tennis with my daughters. I mean, every single one of them would destroy her. She looks like she's never held a tennis racket before.
Well, some people are wondering,
So a
wait,
slight-
she won 3 points. How could she win
Problem.
3 points? The 3
I'm
points
assuming that the other
unforced. Yes.
I'm assuming the other woman just hit a few balls out
correct
somehow.
Yeah.
And I don't know how that would have happened, because if she can't throw the ball up in the air and hit it over the net, you know, you don't even need to be going anywhere near the lines with your shots. You know, I seriously doubt that she had some like awesome like backhand John McEnroe volley at some point in that match. But anyway, kind of makes me want to get out there and be a wild card qualifier for a men's tennis event.
This is like you used to hear. Gosh,
Could I win
can't
3 points?
I can't remember the guy's name. Taj something. He was just a kid that went to college, and this was what 30-something years ago. He put his name in for the NBA draft, and like nobody knew who he was, and they were kind of Taj McDavid. Does that sound familiar?
Yeah.
And so
I don't
it's
have
kind of
any
like,
idea.
yeah, Jared, look it up. But some kid put his name into the NBA draft. He's like, I'm declaring myself eligible for the NBA draft, and people were like what? And that's I'm picturing the same thing here. She's just like, oh yeah, I'm a tennis player. I'd like to play in the.
Why would you want to do that to yourself? Like, she's overmatched if she's just playing a brick wall.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, why would you want to go out there and play a professional? The woman that she played was ranked a little over number 1,000 in the world, by the way.
So she wasn't much
who
better.
Lost 3 points. She was a little better, enough better. Speaking of people who aren't good at things, Ron, Mike McDaniel has been fired in Miami. There it is. And I feel like right after that happened, he fired up the vape pen to help himself deal with the disappointment. Look, we've talked about it all season. I've talked about it with Armando on more than one occasion. Is Mike McDaniel somehow going to escape this season with his job? We now have the answer that he made it through the end of the season, but he's gone. He gone, as Hawk Harrelson used to say.
Feels like it's a
in
interesting
Chicago.
timing. Interesting timing that John Harbaugh just got fired, and then all of a sudden, Mike's out. Just saying.
Moving from Baltimore to Miami.
Saying.
Kind of feels like not a bad decision when you're in your early 60s. Got to think about it if you're him. Hey, if you enjoy this kind of thing, if you're having fun with us today, and by God, if you've been watching, how could you not be? Why don't you consider subscribing to the Ricky Cobb Show on YouTube? Drop a like, leave a comment. And most importantly, subscribe so that you don't miss anything. We are dropping bangers every day right here. And if you're a millennial, if you're Gen X, if you're just a cool motherfucking young person, have we got the show for you? Sports, comedy, nostalgia, pop culture, dudes who really don't have any fucking business being here, doing what we do. And we would love to have you join us because, as I've said many times, this is a show by regular people, for regular people. And you, my friends, well, you're not just regular, you're sweet bastards. Subscribe to the show, won't you? And with that being said, it's time for one of the most hallowed, sacred traditions every weekday on Super 70 Sports, and every time that we tee it up here on the Ricky Cobb Show, it's time for America's Poll of the Day. Let's go to it now. Super 70 Sports on X, where the eagle flies high. Higher than Jerry Jones was when he said that he was going to win 4 more Super Bowls, but perhaps not as high as Mike McDaniel at the average Miami Dolphins press conference this season. Not even the Eagle of Freedom can get as high as Mike McDaniel. Here's what we've got, Ronnie. We will begin with Sour Patch Kids. Second, we have Clue. And again, you know I don't like to put qualifiers in the parentheses, but I'm talking about Clue the game, not the movie. Some people might think I'm referring to the movie. Third, we have Jimmy Superfly Snuka. And lastly, The X-Files. Break it down for me, Ronnie, as only you can.
All right, I am just going to immediately excuse myself from Clue and the X-Files. I don't remember ever playing Clue, and I know for a fact I'd never watched the X-Files, so I'm just gonna excuse myself from those two. Sour Patch Kids. I generally only eat Sour Patch Kids during kind of one time, and that's when I'm driving in my car and I've been driving for a lot of hours and I'm starting to get tired, because there was nothing like that sour, whatever the hell it is, just to shock your brain into being awake. So I use Sour Patch Kids as a way to wake myself up when I'm driving.
I've never heard anybody tell me or say to anyone else
does it make
that
sense,
use Sour
though?
Patch Kids is basically speed.
But doesn't it make sense?
Like an amphetamine effect.
Right.
From it.
Think about it, though.
I mean,
Think
I guess.
You can't fall asleep if you've got all that sour dust coursing through your veins.
It's a theory.
Yeah. And then
Yeah.
you know
Who needs uppers when you've got Sour
Absolutely.
Patch Kids?
You know that I'm not the biggest professional wrestling fan, but you also know who my favorite professional wrestler of all time is. And so I'm going with Jimmy Superfly Snuka, not only my favorite wrestler, but that's who I'm picking in the poll.
All right.
Nothing
Rod,
like
all,
that dude coming off that top rope.
We did the very special episodes thing, last week. I'm waiting for the very special episode of the Ricky Cobb Show where I have to confront you with my concern that you've become too wired on Sour Patch Kids and it's affecting you. You know,
Have an intervention,
just tweakings,
like you
scratching
call Lori,
yourself.
you
and
call
stuff.
Lori and Tyler, and you're like, because you have Tyler's number, you'll be like, hey Tyler, I need your mom's number too, and you're like, we're gonna do an intervention. Like Ron's a little out of control now.
There's a scene where we hang out together and you're acting weird, and then after you leave, I reach down on the floor and I find an empty bag of Sour Patch Kids, and I hold it up as they play the music of concern. And
no.
Commercial.
The better one would be that you find all these Sour Patch Kids with the sour sucked off of them. Like I didn't even eat the gummy part.
Yeah, you try to deny it. You're like, they're all in there. I'm like, they're gross and sticky, Ron. I know what you did. All right. Clue the game. I played it. I had it and played it. I was never good at it. I never felt like I fully understood it. Like, I feel like I was only playing with like 85% of the rules knowledge correct at best. So I was never a huge fan of Clue, honestly. The X-Files, first of all, I've never seen an episode of the X-Files. I don't desire to. I found it annoying when it was on. I knew people who did watch it. I thought they were annoying. I don't give a flying fuck. That might be the thing that I care about the least of everything we've ever had in any poll of the day. So it comes down for me to Sour Patch Kids and Jimmy Superfly Snuka. The positives for Snuka, one of the great high flyers in the history of pro wrestling, especially in his era. He was a pioneer coming off the top of the steel cage against Bob Backlund, I believe it was. That might have been at Madison Square Garden back in the early 80s when you did not see people doing that. Pro wrestling has become a lot more gymnastic and acrobatic since those days. So he was a true pioneer. He was cool. He wrestled in his bare feet. He'd do that thing with his hand, right? Remember, he'd give you those. He'd give you the fucking aloha.
Yeah, like Todd did.
Yeah, like Todd did. Yeah, so it's all coming together here with that. But here's the thing, Ron. I am going to say on the other side, a lot of people think he killed his girlfriend.
Right.
Are you aware of that?
I am, because you've mentioned.
1983.
Yes, because you've mentioned
Yeah.
before that my favorite football player and my favorite wrestler have something in common. So
you're a big fan of the murderers.
Yes.
Is what we've alleged. Murderers. But again, I'm going to say it right here. No charges were brought at the time. Years later, they did bring charges against him, like over 30 years later, but he was deemed unfit to be able to stand trial because of, I think it was dementia. And he died a couple of years later, so it was never adjudicated. He was never found guilty. And because he was never found guilty, I'm going to feel justified in voting for Superfly Snuka today. Murder charges be damned. Let's light the candle and see what the public has to say about this one. Ronnie and I are in agreement that it's Jimmy Superfly Snuka, but as always with America's poll of the day, it comes down to what you, the people, have to say on the matter. And we will find out momentarily. We'll also find out what people think of the X-Files.
another close poll.
Another pretty good one today. Snuka,
Well, it wasn't close, but it wasn't.
35%.
Yeah, Jimmy won this easy, but yeah.
Respectable.
Yeah.
I give myself a B+ today as the poll writer there. Jimmy Superfly Snuka advancing to Championship Friday. So there you have it. And with that highlight of the program now behind us, it's time for me to realize what lies next. And it's the question that I asked that if you watched the show yesterday, you know why sometimes I am about ready to duck and cover only momentarily after answering the question. Do 3 Coke cans mean anything to you? If it doesn't, take a look at yesterday's show if that's meaningless to you, because it sure as hell means a lot to anybody that was watching yesterday as I tilted my head slightly, looked into the camera quizzically, and said simply, "What the fuck, Ron?"
We're sticking with the meat theme, Ricky. We're sticking with the meat theme. Wendy Marshall, tattoo shop owner in Florida. She eats about 2 pounds of meat every day.
God bless her.
Ricky.
God bless her. Hamburger helper with some of that.
No, I forgot to.
That's what I would advise her to do.
I left a part out. I forgot to tell you. She eats it raw.
Oh boy. Well,
oh boy.
That just went from awesome to deeply concerning.
She loves ripping the flesh off the bone, she has said. So there's a show on TLC called My Strange Addiction, and she was featured 2 nights ago, I believe. Here you see a picture of her eating hamburger meat raw from the package, which just kind of making me sick right now, to be honest with you. This might be the grossest thing we've ever talked about on this show. I don't like sushi. I don't like sushi. I don't like anything raw. Lori and I, have you ever had Ethiopian food? Lori and I have always wanted to try it, and we tried it last week. We went to an Ethiopian restaurant.
Oh,
and
well, you know me, Ron. It's Ethiopian every night here at Chateau de Cobb. That's hamburger helper and Ethiopian dishes is pretty much all I do.
There's a reason I'm going to land this plane. So, one of the, like, we asked the owner, we're like, just tell us what to order. We've never had Ethiopian food before. We've heard good things about it. She goes, well, you should start with this. Don't have that. And I thought the reason she told us not to have the first one was it kind of the spices, like too spicy. I said, no, it's Ethiopian food. I'm here. I just want to, if I don't like it, I'll pay for it, and I just won't finish eating it. Well, Lori pulled up her phone and did a little bit of research before the food came out, and that dish that we ordered is served. It said ground beef on the menu, but it's raw ground beef. And I jumped up, went and knocked on the kitchen door, and they came to, I'm going to say, I said, that first dish that we ordered, I go, could you please cook it for us? And they're like, yes, we'll cook it for you. So this just is the grossest thing I've ever heard. 2 pounds of raw meat every day.
Antibiotic resistant infection.
Right.
You fucking dummy. You fucking dummy. Don't eat raw meat. What the fuck is wrong with you? And here's the thing. How do you know that you like raw meat? You should never fuck. There's a reason that I've never done cocaine. I'm like Charles Barkley. I would never do cocaine, partly because Super Sky Point to Lenny bias. That got through to me loud and clear. But Charles Barkley once said he never did cocaine because he was afraid he'd like it.
Mm-hmm.
Why would you ever take a bite of raw meat to know what that fucking shit tasted like in the first place to find out that you had an affinity for it? That's my question. Why do you know what raw meat tastes like?
How do you, if you're at a restaurant, how do you order your steaks? How do you order your steaks?
Sewer rat might taste like pumpkin pie, but I'll never know because I'm not going to eat the filthy motherfucker, as Jules Winfield once said to Vincent Vega.
How do you order your steak when you're at a restaurant?
Medium well.
Okay.
I'm going to get criticized. I know all the real steak people are like, fuck you, pussy.
Fuck those people.
But I like my steak medium well.
Yep.
Damn
I go medium. This is just, I'm going to throw up as soon as the show's over, just so you're aware. Like, I did this to myself, but
it's disgusting.
This is so
She's disgusting. Do you kiss your mother with those lips? What's her name?
Wendy Marshall.
What's her name, Ron?
Wendy Marshall.
Wendy Marshall, do you kiss your mother with your nasty bacteria-ridden lips? It's absolutely filthy is what it is. Ron,
that's it. That's the only WTF.
Is there anything else, or you?
No, that's
all
it.
Right, you've done enough damage. Look, I'm all in favor of red meat. You just got to cook it. I can't even look at something that's medium rare half the time. You know, like raw.
Yes.
Absolutely disgusting. Let's go to poll replies, shall we? Try to cleanse our palates with the couple of minutes that we have remaining here on the program. Mansour Ackett says this should not be close, and in fact,
it wasn't.
It was not. It wasn't. Superfly Snuka cruising to a double-digit win today. The dude with 2 hole-in-ones. How about that? I have 2 hole-in-ones as well, Ron. I think it's the Hall of Fame NFL running back in the courtyard with the knife. Well played. Well played, sir. Tossed says, how does one choose between Sour Patch Kids and Snuka? Tossed, obviously, like you and I, coming down to the same final 2. Seems like Sour Patch Kids at least had people asking themselves some hard questions about Jimmy Snuka today, if nothing else. And so we come to the end of another broadcast. My thanks to Ronnie T-Shirts as always. Big thanks to Todd Marinovich for a great conversation today. My thanks as well to Molly and Adam and Colin and everybody in Nashville who makes my life so much easier and makes me look good. My thanks to P.A. Jarrett and producer Tim, who both do their best to make me look good on a good day as well. But most of all, I thank you, you sweet bastards, because without you, there'd be no point in doing this. You're the reason we do it. You're the reason it's so much fun. So sign up for the Ricky Cobb Show on YouTube. Don't miss anything. And we will see you next time right here when we tee it high and let it fly with another episode of the Ricky Cobb Show.